Hello and welcome. Before I begin explaining and clarifying the mediation process, I would like to briefly take the time to introduce myself and then get to know who you are and what brought us here today. I am Alma Acosta, but you can call me Alma. I am going to be your mediator today. I am a volunteer for the OC Human Relations Dispute Resolution Program, and I have been interning with this program for a little under 2 years now. I'm currently working towards my master's degree in negotiation, conflict resolution, and peace building at Cal State Dominguez Hills. With this experience, I have worked with different cases in different types of fields, including the one we are working with today. Now, as I stated earlier, I'd like you to take the time to introduce yourselves. So, what is your name and how would you like to be addressed? Got it. Welcome. Out of curiosity, have any of you tried mediation before? And if so, what was your experience like? Thank you for sharing. I'd like to take the time to thank you all for choosing to try mediation today. Mediation is a form of dispute resolution that will give each of you the opportunity to present any concerns you have faced when trying to discuss the issue at hand. As you heard our lead mediator, Peiko, say earlier today, mediation is a voluntary process. Earlier before this, we went over the pre-mediation agreement and signed it. As by signing it, you are demonstrating that each of you agrees to voluntarily partake in this mediation. Are there any questions about this? If not, let's continue. In the pre-mediation agreement, I stated that this mediation is strictly confidential. When I say that this mediation is confidential, I mean that everything that is said in this mediation is not to be disclosed to others who are related to this mediation or through any form of communication or media. In addition to that, if we do not come to an agreement today and have to go before the judge, I cannot be a witness for the case. The judge will remind you all that mediation, what is disclosed in mediation, must remain confidential. Any questions? Okay. Moving forward, my role in this mediation is a third party that will be helping each of you facilitate communication. I am also a neutral party, and what this means is that I will not be taking sides, advising you, or suggesting solutions. The outcome of this mediation is ultimately up to each of you. The solutions and ideas that come up in this mediation will be your very own. I will have no input. Before we brainstorm solutions, I will be asking each of you what brought us to mediation and what you expect to get out of this process. I typically begin with the individual who filed the suit, and then I give the respondent a chance to share his or her side. Each of you will have the opportunity to tell me your side so we can identify the issues, share any concerns you have, and express any ideas you feel can help us move forward today. A mediation session can last anywhere from about half an hour to an hour and a half. Within this time frame, each of you will be given the opportunity to discuss what you feel needs to be shared. However, for the sake of time, I do ask that you only share information that is relevant to this mediation and to helping us resolve this conflict. Are there any questions regarding the time frame or anything else I have discussed so far? Okay. If there are any topics or information that you do not feel comfortable sharing in front of the other party, I can call a private meeting called a caucus. This will give you the chance to disclose what needs to be shared, and with your permission, I will also share this with the other party. Likewise, you have the right to deny that permission to share the information, and it will remain confidential. Throughout the mediation, I will be taking notes and might ask questions to clarify what is being said to help each party better understand each other. After the mediation is over, I will destroy the notes to further ensure the confidentiality agreement we have made earlier. There are some ground rules. As I stated earlier, you will each have an equal opportunity to talk. With that being said, I kindly ask that you do not interrupt the other party as they are talking. This will slow the mediation down. If you have questions or something important to say while the other party is talking, please write it down on the paper that I have provided, and when it is your turn to talk, you may address it then. When it is your turn to talk, or as you are talking, please make sure you are talking clearly and directly towards me. This will help me when I am taking notes. If you are using an interpreter today, I ask that you make sure to speak clearly and at a pace that allows the interpreter to relay the message to you and to the rest of the parties involved here today. I also ask that you do not use your phones out of respect to the people who are talking at the time. I will be making an exception if you have evidence to share on your device or if you need to consult a lawyer or another outside expert during the mediation. Out of respect to the parties involved, I also ask that you prevent using foul language or any aggressive behavior. If this behavior continues, I will call a caucus and give you a warning. If despite the warnings and despite the caucus you still continue this behavior, I will have to end the mediation. Again, my role is to help keep both of you on track to effectively communicate your needs and expectations for this mediation. Finally, if each of you decide to mutually come to an agreement, I will be writing up a document called a stipulation. It is a written form of the agreement you make today. Again, if this conflict cannot be resolved here in mediation, we will go back to the court before the judge. In front of the judge, one of the parties has a 100% chance of losing, and the other party has a 100% chance of winning. But in mediation, you have the power to create win-win solutions that can satisfy each party involved. With that being said, do you have any questions before we begin? Let's start then. As I stated earlier, we will begin with the party who filed the suit. So please tell us what brought us here today in mediation.